everybody, it's Paul from Alexander Knife Sharpener and Laser Engraving. So I thought I'd do a little bit of follow-up to the short video I did yesterday. I did a short yesterday talking about it can be time to replace a knife, and sometimes it's worth telling your customer that. And I showed a Santoku where, and there's several names for these things. Some people call them Grantons, some call them just reliefs, some people call them Cullen shifts. But it was so worn down that quarter of the Granton was gone. That's where the blade level had moved back. And if you look here, you can see there's quite a bit of metal between the apex and the beginning of that Granton. So imagine how much metal has been removed to move that apex that far back. If you want to, yeah, could you thin this knife back out and move it down? And, you could. But here's a more important point, and this is what I did. I talked to my customers, and I found out, because one, seeing that is pretty rare, okay? And one of the misconceptions out there, and hey, I love to, let's kick up a little controversy, because there's guaranteed someone, just like two other people in the last little short were like, oh, you're stupid, you don't know how to sharpen a knife. Yeah, I forget how many knives it was last year, but literally I sharpen thousands of knives per year. Trust me, I know how to sharpen a knife. If you're seeing that, they're most likely sharpening their knife too often. And that's what I found out here. So I asked my customer, I said, it's really time to replace this. And he said, yeah, my wife, he goes, she's using this like Cuisinart thing that's got wheels on it and pulling her knife through there all the time. I said, she's sharpening her knife every time she's doing that. She's grinding away metal, which explains why on her Santoku, she ground the metal all the way back. That just shouldn't happen. She needs to be honing her knife. So that's what I showed him. And this will solve one other question that you get all the time. So the other question you're going to get is, how do I know when to come see you? How often should I bring my knives back in? The easiest answer is, if you can get them to hone their knives, when honing stops working, that's when it's time to come see me. And then I remove the metal that's needed to go on your knife, and then you start honing them again. In general, if you hone your knives, I've found you'll get a year's worth of use out of that sharpening job. If you don't hone them and you use them a lot, it might be somewhat less than that. And there's a lot of other factors. What are they cutting on? Are they, occasionally I catch my wife cutting on a glass cutting board that her niece gave her because she really likes it because her niece gave it to her. Glass cutting boards are terrible and they dull knives, So I try and get her to cut on our good cutting boards. If you cut on a granite countertop, which I've seen people do, I've seen chefs in restaurants cut on stainless steel countertops all the time. It will dull a knife faster. Talk to your customers and your clients about honing. Now, what's the other important things you need to know about honing? I'm going to grab two quick honing rods here and let's talk about it. A lot of your customers tend to start out with like a Western knife set. So they might have a Henkel's or a Wusthof or something like that. So they might have a nice metal hone that goes with a Western knife set. Now, keep in mind, if they now have a mixture of Japanese knives and Western knives, which a lot of people have, this is not going to be good enough for a Japanese knife. It's too soft of a hone. They're going to need either ceramic or hone that's made by a good Japanese knife company, like a Shun hone or a Miyabi hone. Those will definitely be hard enough for just about any Japanese knife that they're going to have, or they can just simply get a ceramic hone and use that to hone their Japanese knives. Now, this will work totally fine on their German knives too, but I've often seen people trying to hone Japanese knives with knives that were really meant for German steel knives. Don't do that. Now, the only other thing that I teach my customers, because I see this too, is just the appropriate way to hone a knife, or at least what I consider the appropriate way. Now, yeah, we've all seen the crazy chefs on TV going all fast on a hone, different kinds of directions, horizontally, vertically towards themselves. And what I've noticed is a lot of professional chefs come in and their knives are marked to heck. You see hone marks all over the knife, and it's nowhere near the apex where they need to be honing. I simply teach, and I'm just going to show you kind of in the air here, but imagine there was a counter here. I teach, put your hone tip down on your counter. You can put a kitchen towel down on if you want to. I like to put little rubber tips on mine so I can just put it on the countertop down. I like angle guides because it takes the confusion out for people, because a lot of people have no clue what their knife angle should be. And as most of you guys know who follow my channel, I sharpen Western knives at 17 and I sharpen Japanese knives, most of them at 15. A lot of these hones, and the ones that I recommend that I have listed on my website, have angle guides that come with them. And even German steel knife one that I showed you also has, and this one I really love because it has a 17-degree angle on all sides. You can also buy just the angle guide if they already own a hone. So what I teach is tip down, line up, and just simply slide your knife down on that angle, going down, counting your strokes. Now, how I like to do it, I normally like to do 5 strokes on one side, then switch to the other, 5 strokes there, and then I'll work my way down. 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And then I'll check my knife. If it feels good, I go back to cutting with it. The other option is you could just go back and forth. You can do one side and the other side, back and forth, equal strokes all the time. Either one works. I just try and get them away. They don't got to be the crazy chef on TV that they see honing like that, standing up, Now, I'm not saying some people can't do that and get it right, but about the only guys I've ever seen that were really good at honing their knives like that really quick worked in slaughter plants or meat processing plants or butchers, guys that are literally cutting and honing their knife all day long. They get good enough to do it. But even a lot of chefs, I find aren't really great at honing their knives properly. The Japanese teach tip down, equal amounts of strokes, line up, and just nice and easy. It doesn't have to be hard, doesn't have to be crazy amounts of pressure. Straight down, count your strokes on each side, and you'll be good. If your knife's back to cutting again, you're good to go. And now they know when to come see you, because when the honing stops working, now they know it's time to come and get their knives sharpened. Have a great day, everybody. Okay, a couple final few updates. So the getting ready to shut my shop down and move to a new location is moving along pretty well as far as the house stuff goes. One mistake I made was I did post on my website that I am going to be shutting down for probably 2 weeks. And I hope this would, curb things a bit coming in. But what it did was kind of have the opposite effect. So a whole bunch of people rush to get stuff in, hopefully before I close. So I'm actually probably going to have to adjust that date. And in about probably 2 or 3 days, I'm going to put up that I'm not taking any more new jobs in, and that I'm going to be only open for people to come pick up jobs, because it literally just caused a mass influx of last minute knife sharpening jobs and laser engraving jobs. And you hate to turn work away, but hey, that's sometimes you do something that has the opposite reaction than what you expect. The other thing, so in the description of this video, I'm also going to link the video for the TS Prof giveaway. Don't forget to, go in there and comment on that video, watch that video, because it's a pretty nice giveaway. And I'm not sure if you guys saw, but TS Prof International is also giving away a Pioneer. So you might want to check them out, because that's 2 TS Profs that you have a chance to win. So you can win one from the company possibly, or you could win one from me. So go check that out. And let's see what else. So I'll link that video. Oh, I'll also put a link, since this was discussing recommendations, I'm going to put a link to my website. So on my website, most of you guys usually see the recommended for sharpeners section, but I also have a recommended products that I give to my customers all the time, and it's on my website, and I point it out to customers that come in all the time. and it's the hones and knives and different things that I recommend. So I'll put that up there so you guys can go check that out too if you're interested in seeing how I do that. Because maybe that's something that you want to do with your website also. So that's it. I hope everybody's doing great, and hopefully soon I might be able to get you some shots of the new shop. We were trying to get in there early to see if they would let us store stuff in the garage, but I don't know. The other agent wanted us to lift some contingency stuff that I didn't feel comfortable with lifting. But as soon as I can get you some shots of that new shot, I will. But pretty soon the next big thing is going to be packing up and closing things up here, which is going to be a nightmare. So I haven't decided whether I want to get a pod, whether I want to, it's so close. It's not even a mile away. I measured it the other day. It's 0.9 miles that I'm moving. So I could definitely move a lot of stuff with my pickup, but is it going to be 100 runs with my pickup, or should I just order a big 16-foot pod and have everything moved over that way? So we'll see. But that's what's going on. Hope everybody's having a great weekend, and I will catch up with you soon. Check out those links in the video description, and I will talk to you later.